There are only 4 teams left, which means there are absolutely no excuses anymore. This is Bets and Regrets, and today we're breaking down the NFC Conference Championship games against the spread, the biggest stage right before the Super Bowl, and the point where one bad bet hurts way more than it should. These are legacy games, public sides, and lines that are begging you to be wrong. If you're riding with any of these picks, hit follow on Spotify and save this episode so you've got the card before kickoff. Alright, let's get into championship weekend. I'm Brogan.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Nick.
And we've got some shots to take, boys. Um, man, we even week or a down week. Not great for the divisional week. I went 3-3. Sean went 3-3, and Nick went 2-4. And not only that, one of us lost an appendix as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can talk about that in my locks this week. So I went in right away. I went 3-3 this weekend, and unfortunately, I'm not able to take any of any shots this week because I just had an emergency appendectomy surgery. Less than what time are we looking at? 8:19. Yeah, about 12 hours ago or so. So there's that. I am on some doctor prescribed pain medication though, so we can take that for what it is. I'm rocking my Joe Burrow jersey at this time of the pod. Just trying to conjure up some magic of fellow brethren that have been in the trenches with me and know how I'm feeling. So hopefully we can play like Joe Burrow in the playoff run a couple of years ago. Not necessarily regular season as of late, but yeah. So that's awesome. And again, you can call this podcast a lot of things, but not willing to put out an episode, no matter what we got going on in our lives, isn't one of them. So I'm gonna put that out there. On to my locks though of last week. A lot of them were games and props of the games, which we'll be talking about, so I won't go too much into it. But the first one was Rams Seahawks money line parlay, and finally we hit one. That's a good feeling. Rams, that was a Saturday night game. That was a no sweat pretty much from the jump. Or no, sorry, Seahawks. Jesus. Already struggling here. Seahawks, that against the 49ers part, that one wasn't that was about as easy as you could make it. And they might have turned the scoreboard off at halftime. And then Rams, that was a sweat. We'll talk about that game later. Kyron Williams rushing attempts over or plus 14. So I was nervous going into that. That was a sweat up until about the fourth quarter where he had half of those on one drive, which was glorious. Patriots -3. That one was pretty much a no sweat when you're going against a CJ Stroud-led playoff team. Pats Texans under 41.5. I do recall saying that seems like a no-brainer with two great defenses going at it that the under should be in play. But again, that's the funny thing about the NFL. When you feel that it can when it's too obvious, just trust your gut and go the opposite direction. Then the last one of my regular ones were Indiana money line parlayed with Fernando Mendoza to hit 2 passing touchdowns. Now, he did not get 2 passing touchdowns, but he did show why he was an NFL caliber quarterback, Heisman winner, by extending the play on 4th and goal and getting absolutely smoked in the back to extend for a touchdown and ultimately just put the team on his back in a national championship game. So that was amazing. Unfortunately, that one didn't get home. And then the last one, parlay of the week, is the Bills money line. Again, I still felt good about this game. And if you can tell me that you got the slight dog or the slight home edge, or not home edge, but just whoever was favored at the time. Again, it was essentially a pick 'em, but whoever you got going into overtime, you still got to love your chances with Josh Allen. So, yeah, if that's the way it turned out, so be it. Ultimately, I went 3-3. Shots should be flowing again next week. Ideally, I go 6-0 though. So we shall see.
I'll go, Nick, if you don't want to. I went 3-3 as well.
Yeah, you had better record than me, dog. You gotta go.
Well, you have some more regrets than I do. Anyways, I'll go. So what am I not regretting? Miami plus 10.5. I altered this to 10.5. I was a little nervous about Indiana, but Miami hung in there. Without the block punt If their field goal kicker can make a field goal early on, it's a completely different end game there, and Carson Beck doesn't have to throw the interception. Regardless, Miami covered 10.5, so that hit. Rams Bears under 48.5. This was relatively not sweaty at all. The only sweat was when the game did go into overtime. If 15 points were scored, so a touchdown and then a touchdown and extra point, or a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, the over would have hit. So I was watching for that, but didn't happen. That game went under. And then Kyron Williams, 60 plus rushing yards. Like Sean, I was a little nervous about this one. And then there was that drive where Kyron Williams got the ball at least 7 or 8 times. And I think that line cashed on that drive late in the game. So those three were my hits. What did we not hit on? Buffalo, Denver, under 45.5. That game went into OT, and there were 63 points scored, so that one lost by almost 20 points. CMC, anytime touchdown, minus 125. I thought that line was juicy as hell, and the Niners imploded against the Seahawks. No touchdowns scored in that one, I don't believe. So that sucked. And then my final one was Bills money line. Man, Josh Allen losing in the playoffs. It happened again. So I got 3 shots this week. I got all reliable JD Jack Daniels with me. And I'm going to take 3 of these things for making 3 just stupid picks last week. Nick?
All right. Well, I'm still in Hawaii, so I will still be drinking beer. I did go 2-4. Start off with the Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. I thought that was going to cash purely because Devontae, it seemed he was a little bit fired up for the Packers, which I was kind of happy to see. And then he just didn't get a lot of action that game. I know the weather wasn't too favorable for passing, but I thought Devontae is Devontae, and he would get some goal line looks and be able to bring one down. That just never happened. I had Roma Dunze over 35 receiving yards. That was a banger. That game was a very back and forth game, very low scoring, as Brogan said. So I was quite happy that I ended up choosing the correct Bears wide receiver, not DJ Moore, to catch a pass. Rams Rams 3.5. That just didn't hit. Rams ended up winning by a field goal in overtime. So that fucking sucked because I did double down on that. Stroud over 10 rushing yards. Stroud might actually be one of the worst playoff performances I've ever seen by a quarterback. Period. That was fucking horrible. So thank God I didn't take literally anything else for CJ Stroud besides his rushing yards, because apparently his legs still work, not his arm. And then San Francisco, Seattle, under 45.5. I knew that line was fucking cooked as soon as Seattle housed the kick on the very first play. I was like, all right, well, this fucking sucks. Then once again, I did double down on Rams minus 3.5. So I will be drinking approximately 3 beers again. Just going to be enjoying a good old Coors Light in downtown Honolulu, enjoying the nice weather, as you guys are having really nice weather back at home. So back to you guys while I start sipping on some brews.
Yeah,
really.
I appreciate that. Thanks for reminding us of how great you
It's
have
80
it.
degrees out, by the way. 80 degrees.
So it's only going to be 120 degrees colder than that here this weekend. All right.
I'm quite
Well,
jealous.
I'll suffer in silence. Let's go over last weekend, shall we? Started it off on Saturday afternoon with Bills Broncos. A game that was a back and forth affair, I guess. Broncos were up at half, 20-10. Bills come back in the fourth quarter, tie it up, go to overtime, and Broncos hit the game-winning field goal. Now, there was some controversy about whether it was a catch or an interception in overtime. I am a firm believer that that's got to be a catch. And
Yeah, I don't
thought-
understand. I don't understand.
I thought that they settled this years ago with that Packers Seahawks game about the Fail Mary. Like I thought that
Yeah,
it was if they both come down with it, tie
it
goes
goes
to
to
the offense.
offense.
But like
Yeah,
I would understand if somehow it's not necessarily how physics or body positioning works, but like if the Seahawks defender or not Seahawks, what game was this? Bills and
Bills
Broncos.
Broncos. Yep.
So if like the Broncos defender was below, like on the ground, the Bills player caught the ball and started rolling, but didn't technically touch the ground, and then the ball popped out. I could see that case, but it's not going to happen like that. Bang bang. I was thoroughly confused watching that, and I was more shocked that they didn't even go and they were like, "Yep, that's the call. That's what we're going to be riding with in a
Mm-hmm.
crucial, pivotal moment of the game when we can make these calls." Even like we were talking a couple weeks ago for the incomplete, whether it was an incomplete pass or anything like that, where it doesn't necessarily affect the true outcome of the game. Like there'll still be time. Like that was overtime or very close to it. Like you got to at least have a second look at that. I just think that they were going to be afraid to make the
how
wrong
does New
call either
York
way.
not phone in? How does
That's
New
what
York not phone in and
Well,
be like, dude, what the fuck?
I was floored.
it seemed like New York did phone in and said, "Yeah, that's an interception," um, which
That's wild.
I've seen the commentary that you have to control the ball through the ground. However, I would question there's many plays just this season alone, even later this week with Devontae Adams, where the same
Now
shit happens and it's
that
never
one was a little bit different.
okay. So then let's go back to I believe it was Steelers Ravens, not the final game, but the first time they played. Rodgers threw a pass that was batted up in the air. Rodgers catches it himself, is going to the ground, and it got ripped out. And then, but that was ruled incomplete. But then, shouldn't that be a fumble?
Yeah.
Like that's the
Like
part that's hard for me. Is like there is no continuity in the calls. Like it if
no, and this has been
It
going
just doesn't
on.
feel consistent. I agree.
It's been
right.
going on for years. I mean, they had that what's a catch, what's pass interference shit in like the 2018 season with the Saints and Rams. No one, they're never going to get this perfect. So it's just unfortunately a part of the game, and it was unfortunate that it decided that crucial point in the game.
Here comes another Josh Allen rule change in the offseason.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that led to Sean McDermott getting let go. So there will be a new coach in Buffalo with the new stadium next year for the Bills. And yeah, just a rough way, I guess, for it to end for the Bills. Congrats to the Broncos on that win. But hold on a minute, because Bo Nix breaks his ankle or his foot on one of the final plays in overtime, and
All don't lie.
Second
is
to last,
yeah
yeah.
is just out for the rest of the playoffs now. So sucks for the Broncos. Obviously sucks for Bo Nix. And man, like what a whirlwind that was. Watching that game, not really realizing that anything happens to Bo Nix, and then 20, 30 minutes later, it's Bo Nix is done.
I didn't even believe it. I didn't even believe it. When
Yeah,
I first got that notification, I was like, nah, that's a troll notification. That's a troll notification. And then like fucking I think Rappaport tweeted it out. I was like, wait, what? Like
yeah,
even
that
I saw
was
it on Sleeper and I still didn't believe it.
no. I saw multiple Bronco fans like, oh, Schefter tweeted this out, but he's known to mess things up, so we need a second source. And it's like, shit, Rappaport's doing it. Our season's done. So that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to feel for Bronco fans. You were so close, and you really felt like you had the team to do it, coupled with the defense. But I mean, this is truly, it's the Jarrett Stidham show now. It's
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton's first signing as a power of authority in Denver. Signed Jarrett Stidham. They brought him there for a reason. I don't believe in him, but clearly Sean Payton does. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
They need to, they need to find a way to get Aaron Rodgers on that team right now. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but they need
Well,
to. The Steelers need to cut Rodgers. Rodgers needs to clear waivers
I mean,
and go to the
well,
Broncos.
technically, I think he's a free agent, right? This year. But anyway,
I don't.
that's neither here nor there. I mean, we've seen quarterbacks win Super Bowl, or we've seen far less talented quarterbacks win. I mean, we saw most recently it was like at least get to the Super Bowl. Now we know that he's a stud now, but we didn't know what was going on with like Brock Purdy. Most recently, like as terms of like terrible quality, we saw the corpse of Peyton Manning get carried to a Super Bowl by an elite Broncos defense. So
Hmm.
could they do it? Yes. Is it highly unlikely and improbable? Also, yes.
But the thing, yeah, with the corpse of Peyton Manning, it's like Peyton Manning still had the brain for the game, so he wasn't going to
Yeah.
throw interceptions.
No.
Jared Stidham is a little bit of a different case.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I was just really hoping that we weren't going to be getting a Broncos Bears Super Bowl, which I would have had to
Oh my god!
boycott. So yeah,
So yeah, I mean, pretty
good stuff
exciting
there.
game to start the divisional weekend.
Oh God, it
Definitely
was an absolute banger.
a lot of controversy after that one. But then we rolled right into the big NFC West matchup. The 49ers take on the Seahawks in Seattle. And then Rashid Shaheed just takes the opening kick back, and that's all she wrote for the Niners. Shouldn't even have done anything after that happened because they still would have lost 7-6. Niners can only muster 6 points against the Seahawks defense, and the Seahawks roll to a 41-6 win. Not much to say here for me either, besides Zach Charbonnet going down with the torn ACL hurt
Yep,
Seattle's
R.I.P.
two-headed
my boy.
monster. But man, what a
Yeah.
showing from the Seahawks. Having the bye week, thinking they might come out slow, and no, they came out fast and furious.
Yeah, I mean that's why you traded for Rashid Shaheed right there. It's the contract is well worth it.
Yeah, and it's fun to see,
I
I
got
guess,
nothing on the
a big play like that, especially in the playoffs. Feels like
Yeah.
there's really not many kickoff big plays anymore in the NFL with all the rule changes and yada yada yada. So, um, I guess yeah, it was nice to see that kind of happen for once.
Yeah.
All right, well let's keep on moving since that one wasn't too noteworthy. Something that was also noteworthy Sunday afternoon, the Texans heading to New England. Uh,
Oh,
just a
Was it
battle of
really noteworthy though?
two elite defenses. The noteworthy part: Stroud has 4 interceptions, I believe, all in the first half, and the Texans lose 16-28 to the Patriots. Shout out the Texans defense for keeping the Texans in this
that's
game
crazy.
because they also forced 4 fumbles from Drake May. I think he only lost 2 of them. But man, the Texans defense was buzzing, keeping him in this game. But C.J. Stroud, just an all-time
I
game to forget for him.
fucking called it. Brogan and I were hating on CJ Stroud all this past offseason, and now that it's like coming together, it makes me happy to know that Brogan and I had a beat up on everybody else on being Stroud haters. I don't know. He just never seemed that impressive to me, especially like his rookie year was awesome, but I don't know. He just didn't do anything extremely exceptional, and then his sophomore year it just took a fucking slump. Never got out of the slump. Got carried with his defense, and he's just fucking a steaming pile of turds. That game was horrible to watch. If you're a fan of defense, it was awesome. But like from an offensive perspective, that game was horrible to watch. I like watching defense, so I thought it was kind of fun. But for the average NFL viewer, I bet like they wanted to tear their eyes out watching CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I'm just the thing about CJ Stroud. I thought that he was going to improve. I thought he was going to take that step or his sophomore year. Because right, I think we can all agree his rookie year was phenomenal. But even going into this year, I know that he was out, and offensively, I don't necessarily put 100% of the blame on him. He's trying to force shit, whatever. I get it, it's a playoff game, but he also didn't have much of his weapons. I mean, he was on his third string tackle at one point in the second half. I'm not defending him by any means because I mean 4 picks in a playoff game is inexcusable, and he really hasn't shown the ability to develop or improve as a quarterback as the years go on. And again, I'm not going to jump the gun and just say, oh, he's washed, he's terrible, because he will only be going into year 4. But if he doesn't figure it out next year or the year after, it could be getting late early for the career that is CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a beautiful setting for a playoff football game too. It was a snow globe up in New England. Uh, and yeah, it's tough to see it for CJ Stroud. Obviously, he had such a good rookie season. Everybody was so high on the Texans. A little bit of a sophomore slump. Um, and then this year, I mean, pretty decent, but like just such a letdown. I don't know. It's tough to see for a guy like that. Everybody was ready to crown CJ Stroud, but now that crying Caleb's in the league, he's the new sheriff in town. And why don't we go to that one? The Bears
Boy.
advancing to the NFC Championship. Oh, wait a minute. No, they're not. It's the Rams beating the Bears 20-17 in
Fuck the
Chicago.
Bears.
Uh, a
Best
heroic.
game of the weekend by far.
It was
Hitler is dead.
the banger at the end of the weekend for the close out the divisional round. Caleb Williams with an unreal touchdown at the end of the game to force overtime. I mean, rolling back, 4th and goal, I believe, or like whatever. They're around like the 10 or 15, and he rolls back to the 40 off his back foot, flicks it to Cole Kmet in the back of the end zone for a touchdown to go to overtime. Should Ben Johnson have gone for 2 there in the win?
I don't think
I
so.
completely thought he was going to.
I thought he was, but I'm actually surprised when you're going for it consistently on your own side of the field and like you're barely getting it. And then to go for it, I know they had that 4th and goal. Pretty much, I think what would it have been, like 3 or 4 yards, and it was that incomplete pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I think scheme-wise, because they got into so many 4th and shorts, they might have used up a decent chunk of their 2-point conversion kind of goal line looks. So I'm sure that was probably in the back of their mind. And I know the defense was decimated, so I don't know. I don't understand how you go for it all game long and don't go for it there. I mean, I get it. He's a Dan Campbell disciple, so he's going to go for it. But I don't think that they get it necessarily. If I know momentum's a real thing, but I'm still holding on to the possibility that they don't get it. But I don't know.
What was wild for me is the fact that a lot of their 4th down plays, one time it was like 3rd and 1. They go handoff up the middle, stuffed. 4th and 1, handoff up the middle, stuffed. You have Caleb Williams, who's Nick might not agree, but like he is electric on the rollout. You get him rolling in space, he can either take off and run, or he honestly throws the ball the best when he's moving. So why
I agree.
in these 4th down or 3rd down in short, why are you not rolling him out? Like, I thought Matt LaFleur was calling the plays instead of Ben Johnson. It's just seeing the fucking, let's hand it off up the middle 2 times in a row and see if that works. When you have an electric playmaker like Caleb Williams can be when he's rolling out, and you just don't utilize that at all, it just seemed idiotic, and I can't imagine how it felt for Bears fans watching, because I feel like if you roll Caleb Williams out and get him in space, like it puts so much pressure on the defense, and they just refuse to do that on the most important plays.
And I'm a giant Caleb Williams hater, as we all know. But he is absolutely electric on the rollout. That's the only time he can actually make plays. If teams can keep him in the pocket, he's absolutely dog shit. But as soon as he rolls out of the pocket, he has so many options. And for some reason, he can just hit throws on the run, unlike when he's stationary. So I completely agree. It was so weird to see Ben Johnson not using his legs like that and trying to get Caleb Williams outside the pocket on 4th and 1 and like just try and get something done. I didn't. It made no sense to me. And that touchdown that they did to go ahead to Cole Kmet. First off, it was a push off on Cole Kmet. Fuck you, Cole Kmet, for making Crying Caleb look good. If that touchdown doesn't convert, I tweeted out Crying Caleb's stat line before the game, and it would have almost been nearly identical. I tweeted out that he was going to have 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and 238 passing yards. Well, he had 258 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So I was very close to his stat line. I'm going to rub my own fucking back here. But, yeah, I mean, Crying Caleb, if he can develop and not pull a CJ Stroud, he's going to be a very good quarterback. Um, but we'll just have to see. Right now, I'm seeing way too much hype around him, calling him a top 5 quarterback in the league and whatnot. I've been sending you two some shit from ESPN. That fucking, I was like, what the fuck are these guys smoking right now? Just a little insight. Going into 2026, they put Jordan Love as the 21st best quarterback in the league, right behind Cam Ward at number 20. So,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
I don't know what people are fucking smoking. The Jordan Love disrespect. I don't know how I turned this into a Packers fucking rant, but the Jordan Love disrespect needs to stop.
It always comes back to the Packers. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steen.
Oh, thanks. I was just happy because this is the week that the horseshoe finally fell out of the ass of the Bears. And between them and the Pacers' black magic, it's starting to look up for Wisconsin sports now. Aside from the Dodgers getting everybody in MLB free agency, but we can talk about that later. Yeah, I mean, like Nick was kind of pointing out or alluding to or whatever. If he does make strides, I am genuinely concerned as a Packer fan, and I think that is a seismic shift in not only the NFC North standings, but the NFC as a whole. I think that the Bears could be legitimate contenders. Unfortunately, again, it's a big if. This is somebody's analogy I heard this week. It was Ben Johnson's first year of molding with the clay, and we'll be able to see how good of a coach he truly is, schematically and everything. I don't necessarily know the Bears' contract situations, and we can dive deeper into that into the offseason when we're just talking about between the NBA games that we're going to be attempting to bet and me patiently waiting for Nerfies. But I do think, unfortunately, that the Bears, at this moment, it's looking up. But again, it is incredibly hard to get to the playoffs, let alone win it or win a game or so. And when you have the amount of luck that they had, coupled with the one score, the one score wins, the injury luck. I know that Bears fans, oh, we got so many people banged up. Yeah, talk to a Packers fan we have critical playmakers at every facet of the ball on IR, season-ending IR that wouldn't have been able to touch the field the rest of the year, including our probably top 3 or 4 players. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to maintain a level of dominance in the NFL. I mean, there's so many things that make it hyper competitive, and the parity in this league is unmatched. So we'll see. Do I hope that they get it and like kind of remain competitive for years to come? No, I wanted to go back to being doormats and Caleb Williams to leave the city. But I guess we get a rivalry, so bring it on.
Yeah, I brought this up last week. The amount of wins that they've had, I think it was 7, including postseason, um, where they had like a minimal chance to win in the fourth quarter, and then they come back and win. That's not sustainable play. If all of a sudden, like, if Crying Caleb can turn it around and like put up fourth quarter numbers all the time, he's going to be one of the all time greats, straight up. But that's a huge fucking if, right? Um, it that if he stays the same and they go into next year and they keep up only putting up numbers in the fourth quarter, the Bears aren't going to make the playoffs probably, right? Now all of a sudden, maybe they win one of those games. Now all of a sudden they have 5 more losses on the record. Now they're back to being like 6 and fucking 11 or whatever. So I don't know. It's like a big what if. I'm excited to see how next year pans out, not only for the Packers, but as an avid Bears hater, watcher. Uh, I am actually kind of excited to see what the Bears do, and if they're able to keep up that exciting level of play. I mean, as a football fan, you kind of have to respect it. I know on Twitter I put up like I only hate. But at the end of the day, it's football, and I love watching good football. I love watching exciting football, and that's what Crying Caleb can provide. So I would like to see him actually go back into the fucking dumps and be a dog shit player because I want to see my Packers succeed. But either way, it's kind of a win-win for NFL fans, so or Packers fans or people who like the NFL and good football. So
Yeah. So it was a exciting divisional round outside of the Seahawks 49ers game. But I mean, one dud over. Well, I mean, I guess Texans Patriots wasn't super exciting either. But Rams Bears was super exciting. The end caps, the bread of the sandwiches. Bills Broncos obviously being the top slice of bread, and Rams Bears being the bottom, or maybe it's the opposite because you got to put the bottom on last. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. But
Love the
Rams
breakdown.
Bears, Rams Bears was sweet. Overtime finish. Bills Broncos was sweet. Overtime finish. And that's all she wrote for the divisional round. We have some news to cover though around the league. As we said already, Sean McDermott fired up in Buffalo. We had some coaches hired. John Harbaugh going to the New York Giants. Jeff Hafley to Miami. Kevin Stefanski to Atlanta. And Mike McDaniels as the Los Angeles Chargers offensive coordinator. Ooh. JD's fighting back. Any thoughts, boys?
I mean, McDaniels to the Chargers. This is the most competent coach that Herbert's had. So I love that. Like, you gotta love it if you're a Chargers fan. I know Nick's a quasi Chargers fan, sort of. So happy to hear that. But yeah, I mean, if Herbert's already done this with absolute boobs at their offensive coordinator position. So it could be a year to sprinkle a little bit of money on that Drake or not Drake May. Justin Herbert MVP consideration. So just a thought.
yeah, no, I'm actually kind of jealous for Chargers fans. So the Chargers are like my pseudo AFC team, right after whatever team Aaron Rodgers goes to. And I'm a little bit jealous. I did want Mike McDaniel for Packers head coach. Obviously, we extended Matt LaFleur. I didn't catch if Brogan said that or not, but the Packers did extend Matt LaFleur. Details I don't think are out yet, but I wanted him. I wanted Mike McDaniel for the Packers. I think he is a very innovative offensive mind in the league, and I think offense is kind of what the league is kind of leaning towards for the most part. You know, you get a great offensive minded head coach, and then you get, you know, a very, very solid defensive coordinator, and then all of a sudden you have a championship caliber team. The Seahawks, though, you know, Mike McDonald is obviously a defensive coordinator, and he's kind of, you know, the against my little rule. But yeah, no, I'm kind of jealous. I really wanted to see that type of innovation come to Green Bay, but we're sticking with Matt LaFleur. I don't absolutely hate it. It's just something that we're gonna have to see. I would love to see this like rivalry between Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur kind of play out a little bit more. That's one of the things that like I'm kind of hoping happens. Is obviously Ben Johnson has dissed Matt LaFleur time and time again. I'm trying to like poke the bear out of Matt, and Matt's kind of staying stoic and whatnot. So I do want to see something come out of Matt and something more than what we've gotten out of him. I want to see some fucking fire and some passion out of him, and to him really fucking want to beat the Bears. You know.
So they didn't have this on the coverage of the Bears Seahawks or Bears Rams game, but did anyone see the handshake between him and McVay? Yeah, it was extremely cordial and respectful. So everybody just like, oh, he just doesn't like Matt LaFleur. It's weirdly personal. So I mean, if he's I'm all for people playing the heel and everything. So yeah, I mean, Matt LaFleur needs to have some serious motivation and get in the lab, get in his bag or whatever, and figure it out real quick. Otherwise, you're gonna start getting booed at the games. People will be calling for your jobs even after an extension. And as we learned with so many of these guys that essentially sign an extension being a first year head coach, you can get canned year one. So you better come ready next year.
Yeah, I did like how the NFL page was playing PR for Ben Johnson, because you don't ever show a handshake. Like, when has the NFL ever posted a handshake ever? It was all because of the Matt LaFleur fucking Ben Johnson handshake the week before, where he's like acting like a fucking ape and whatnot. So it was kind of funny to see the NFL acknowledge that Ben Johnson was just dissing Matt LaFleur openly. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, little mental warfare there, or I don't know. Matt LaFleur's living rent free in Ben Johnson's head, but we'll see what happens next year when those two teams meet up, because they will meet up for sure twice. All right, well, let's move on to the NFC Championship week. So, divisional wise, spread wise, Sean led the way at 2-2. Nick went 1-3, and I went 0-4. Unfortunately, after a great showing in the wild card week, I laid a goose egg in the divisional round. So we're going to change that around here for the championship week. However, overall for the postseason, it tightened back up. Nick is 5-5. I am also 5-5, and Sean is right behind us at 4-6. And unfortunately, boys, our one squad ride of the week did not hit. That was on the Rams. So squad rides through the divisional round are back to 1-1. Now, we only have 2 games, obviously, for championship weekend. The AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. And the first one, Sunday afternoon, the Patriots with Drake May heading to Denver to take on the Bo Nix less Broncos. Jarrett Stidham, the starting quarterback. Can he do it? We shall see, because the Patriots are road 5.5-point favorites in an AFC Championship game. Sean, I know you're on the mend, but since you went 2-2, do you want to lead us off in spreads this week?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, with the Broncos rolling out Jarrett Stidham, I kind of talked. Is it Jarrett or Jarrett?
Jarrett.
Jarrett.
Okay, that's what I thought.
With the T's.
No. I've been spelling it wrong. Or not spelling it wrong. I was just like, it didn't look right. Anyway, he's rolling him out with Bo Nickel, Jesus Christ. Bo Nix seemingly breaking his ankle at the second to last play of last week's game. So I got kind of I question what kind of performance we're going to be seeing out of him. And I know what we've seen out of Drake May, which you get some good, you get some bad. I'm curious to see what his first playoff start on the road is going to look like. But as a fan of a complete game, I mean, both defenses should be showing out here. I expect them to make Jarrett Stidham pretty uncomfortable. He is, I believe, 1-2. I saw a little nugget that in starts as a quarterback. So ideally, it gets to 1-3 because I would prefer not to watch the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Otherwise, I just don't think it's going to be a good product, and I don't think the NFL wants that because they care about the product that they put out. So again, I'll just say give me New England here. I don't love it, but give me New England.
Nick?
Yeah, so this week I'm actually going to go with Denver here. It's a little bit of a weird pick. I know Stidham's going to be coming in. I think Stidham's last NFL start, he threw for like 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. This will be like one of those games where like Sean Payton and their defense is really going to have to step up. Essentially just pull what the Texans defense did to the Patriots and try and keep them in it. They know that it's, win and get in, right? This is the fucking Super Bowl, baby. I wonder if there's some sort of outside shot that like Bo Nix can come back for the Super Bowl. He'd basically essentially be like 3 weeks removed from breaking his ankle. I don't know.
He did get surgery, I believe, on Monday. So
okay, so he's probably fucking cooked.
Yeah.
If I know anything about surgeries on bones, he's probably cooked. But regardless, it's win and get in. Sean Payton's going to be going deep into his bag. Sean Payton has been here before. He's a proven fucking coach. Their defense is still a top 5 defense. They're going to figure something out. They're going to figure something out. The defense is going to come together. They're going to rally together, and they're going to want to win a fucking Super Bowl. I I'm still not hugely impressed by the Patriots defense. I think CJ Stroud was just that dog shit with that much pass rush coming against him. I think the Broncos are a healthier team, the quarterback position. I don't know. I feel like the Broncos are going to be able to pull this out. It's not going to look great. Not saying the Broncos are going to win, but I think the Broncos are going to be able to cover that 5.5 point spread. So chalk me down for Denver here, baby.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. Road favorite of 5.5 points in a championship game. But if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose on the side of New England. I bet against Drake May and the Patriots last week. I don't want to get burned again. Actually, let me backtrack that. I bet against them in the wild card. That was my only loss wild card weekend. I bet against them in divisional. I had all losses in divisional. However, I have bet against New England both rounds so far, and it's backfired on me. So I am purely spite betting New England here. Uh, Hopefully not jinxing them, but yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots minus 5.5 on the road. Don't love it, but both basically just fading myself.
Law of averages, baby.
Right. All right. Well then, on the NFC side, it's an NFC West matchup, a game that I believe the series is 1-1 so far. The Rams head to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks are home 2.5 point favorites. Sean, who do you like in this NFC West matchup?
So it's just a simple handicap for me for this one. I mean, there's one team that is getting hot at the right time, and there's another team that did pretty much all that they had to, or they gave it their all just to barely squeak by against the Bears team that really they should have, I think, handled a lot better. So I'm going to go the Seahawks here. No Charbonnet makes it with his torn ACL. Makes it a little bit tougher, but with all that being said, look for Kenneth Walker to get a bigger workload this week. And Stafford, again, was pressured and started to show his age a little bit with some of those balls. And I think the Seahawks have a far better defense than the Bears, so they know how to play them. Now, the Rams did have the blueprint for what they did last time they went into Seattle and should have put them away, but they could not. So that's got to be in the back of the Seahawks' mind, confidence-wise, that we can get 1, 2 scores down in the game and still come back, especially if it gets in the fourth quarter and they're like that. We've been there before. They're battle-tested. So I'm saying we a lot. I'm just putting myself in the mind of the Seahawks, but I'm rooting for Seattle here. I'm just going to be holding my breath for this game and the Super Bowl if Seattle makes it. Just hoping that we need 8 good quarters out of Sam Darnold. That's it. Hoping he doesn't revert back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, so this is where me looking deeper into numbers and whatnot. The Rams are the only team that are top 5 in both defensive and offensive EPA. And so I'm gonna have to fucking ride with numbers here. I hope Sam Darnold just fucking implodes. He shits down his leg and has a crying Caleb-esque game where he just fucking plays like dog shit. So
Very well happened.
give me the Rams here. It's inevitable. Like Sam Darnold is poised to fucking shit down his leg, just like crying Caleb. So
What
yeah,
would be more
that's all I got.
poetic than Sam Darnold to ball out this week and throw a 5 interception Super Bowl game though against a Jared Stidham led Broncos?
That would be fucking hilarious. That would be hilarious. Genuinely, I think that would be peak cinema. But yeah, or you could crown Jared Stidham as a Super Bowl champion, and then we're gonna have to start considering him for a Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's how that works.
that's the Matthew Stafford argument before this year. So
Oh, I was saying you win
give me the
playoff
Rams.
games. I was using the Caleb Williams argument, but
Well, I'm also going to take the Seahawks in this one, -2.5, purely because I did not like what I saw out of the Rams offense last week. They had 8 punts. I almost said 9, but I think it's 8 punts last week. Um, the Bears defense was injured. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a cold game. I get it. It's in Chicago. It's windy. But the Rams offense did not look great against that Bears defense. Obviously, everybody's a little high on the Seahawks after that thrashing of the Niners. But I don't know. I I'm just gonna lean Seahawks here, and yeah, trust them to get it done.
You don't sound that confident, buddy.
I'm not in either of these games. I'm really not. I had a fucking goose egg last week. What am I supposed to be confident in?
So I'm fading both of you
Yep.
this entire week.
Nick is on an
Yep,
island.
no
on both
squad
his
rides.
screens. Yep. No squad rides, and we only have one more NFL spread to pick in this glorious season.
Magic.
All right. Well, let's move on to the dogs. If y'all have any, the dogs were barking last week. We had one dog that hit, and that was yours truly, Stephon Diggs, anytime Tud +220. Unfortunately, Sean, the Bills AFC champions, is not going to hit, and
I think that was dead quick.
Nick, you're hating on Caleb Williams with the Rams defensive special teams anytime touchdown. Also did not hit. But we had one dog barking, and I'm confident we'll have at least another one barking this week. Sean or Nick, do you guys have any dogs?
I do. I'm just
I
pulling it
don't.
up real quick. Logan, you can go if you got any.
All right, yeah, I got 2 of them.
Love it.
My first one's Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown +280. Uh, Listen, I think Stidham is going to have some success. Like Nick said, he has typically thrown for over 200 yards in games that he has played. Now, the asterisk is he hasn't started a game since 2023, I believe. So it's been a little bit. However, I mean, this is just kind of a value pick here. I feel like the Denver Broncos may be down in this game. Not out of it because they do have a good defense, but down. And you could only just abuse RJ Harvey so many times. So long story short, I think Stidham's going to have to chuck it at some point, and who better to chuck it at than Cortland Sutton? And then my other dog is going to be Justin Gaethje against Patty Pimblett, and I'm going to take Gaethje money line. It's +190 now. I typically do like my dogs to be over +200, but I'm going to take Gaethje as a dog in this fight. Gaethje has struggled against top competition recently. However, I'm not sure if Patty the Batty is really that top of competition. I just would rather see Gaethje win this fight personally, so that's why I'm going to throw him in as his dog this week. And those are my 2.
All right. Mine, I will also be. I just got one. I'm also going to UFC. Whatever the number is, 320, I think. Sounds
324.
right-ish. 324. So I love this dude. We got Derek the Black Beast Lewis going up against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Typically, this would be a smash spot. I'd be finding some fun alt prop to put in my lock for it if uh, Cortez Acosta was like anywhere from like non-ranked to essentially like 11 to 15, because the biggest thing for Lewis is he's good enough to stay in the rankings of like around the top 10 and beat those kind of new kids on the block. And his last fight, he did take on an undefeated Teixeira and beat him pretty thoroughly, pretty convincing in a first round finish. And I'm hoping he can do the same. I think this one's going to be a banger. Lewis has got 10 first round finishes. Cortez Acosta's got, I think I looked at that and it said like 6 or 8 in his small, like 18 fight career. Yeah, 5 first round finishes. So getting about a third of your fights finished in the first round, it's going to be an absolute banger. But I'm hoping that Lewis can get it done. So give me Derek, the Black Beast Lewis, on the money line at +260.
All right, Nick, you got any dogs?
No dogs for me this week.
That's fine. All right. Well, like I said, the dogs have been barking. This was something that when we called it heaters, it was ice cold. Ever since we started calling it dogs, yeah, there might have been 1 or 2 weeks where the dogs haven't been barking, but outside of that, it's been a continuous at least one, sometimes 2 or 3 dogs that are barking. All right, well, I think that leaves just one thing left, and that is our weekly locks. I guess 2 things if you include the house ride parlay as well in that, which we may need to also rename for it to fucking hit one of these times.
Yeah.
Um, Nick, how are
If
you?
you don't mind,
Yeah, I was gonna
I will
say,
probably have to go first. Yep.
go ahead.
So we're gonna fucking run through these real quick. We're gonna go Evan Ingram over 22 receiving yards. He's gonna be the safety blanket for Jared Stidham. He's the closest wide receiver. He's fucking big target. It's gonna be super hard for Stidham to miss. And Evan Ingram has a little bit of a dog in him. He's gonna be able to get some a little bit of yak. So give me Evan Ingram over 22 receiving yards. Next one, we're gonna rock out with Stafford over 250 passing yards. I think he's going to have to air it out a little bit against the Seattle defense. Going to be a little bit tough, but he is an MVP candidate. He should be able to get this done if he lives up to the hype. Next one, we're going to go with a Kyron Williams anytime touchdown. You know, with less and less games, gives us less and less options. I don't know how great I feel about this one. But out of everything else, I think this one at plus 125 is pretty good for yo money. Next one, Pats Broncos under 42.5 points. I just don't see there being a lot of points being scored. Fucking Drake May struggled last week against the Texans defense. The Broncos defense is eerily similar to the Texans defense. They don't have as great of a pass rush, but everything else is pretty bang for bang for yo money. Okay. And then last one, I'm going to go with Drake May over 30 rushing yards. He's going to have to get out of the pocket and make some plays and do some things. So to go back over, we're going to go Evan Ingram over 22 receiving yards, Stafford plus 250 passing, Kyron anytime touchdown, Pats Broncos under 42.5, Drake May over 30 rushing yards. And for the parlay of the week, because I do got to get going, is the Pats Broncos under 42.5. Those are my 6 picks for the week. I love you boys. Good luck betting.
All
Sounds
right,
good. Wear sunscreen.
have fun, brother. All right, well, it's just me and you now, and only one of us has an appendix.
That's correct.
Why don't you?
Mano a mano.
Right. Why don't you go ahead, Sean, with your locks?
All right. So the first couple are going to be UFC ones because thank God that shit's back. I've been struggling without it. So first one's going to be a little Silva or Sylvia and Sylvia. Whatever. I might have misspelled this. Roughly Silva parlay. We got Natalia Sylvia or Silva and Jean Silva moneyline parlay at minus 144. They're both killers. I just think that's going to hit. Another one, Charles Johnson, who is the usual. He's no stranger to a main card and pretty solid fighter. So I'm going to take him. I think he was minus 200 something. Parlay that with a Patty Pimblett money line. I do love me some Patty the Batty. So I'm hoping that gets home. Do I think he's going to be long for the belt? Probably not. I think that division is swarming with talent, but I think he's going to have just enough to get past Justin Gaethje. I wanted to say Tony Gaethje for a minute, but oh, Jesus Christ. Justin Gaethje, and that one's going to be right at, you can get that actually at plus money at plus 121. Next one, again, I try and go in roughly chronological order here. So I don't know how you can get both of these at minus 135, but if kind of piggyback off of Nick's under for the New England Denver game, I have Denver first drive punt at minus 135. I think Stidham could get home and put some points on the board, but I think that they're going to be to be a little flustered right away. And if you don't believe in this Denver Broncos offense, minus 135 for the first drive punt is probably about the best price you're going to get, because I think that thing's going to be plummeting as the day goes on. Next one's going to be Kenneth Walker over or 20 plus rushing attempts. I do love me some rushing attempts props. I just think with no Charbonnet and what I liked, or I saw what I liked last week with him getting him going. So if he can even do that a fraction of what he did last week against the Rams, who had a really tough time stopping some of those runners, the Bears, I think that gets home. And again, that's just 5 a quarter. That's a couple of drives. So last one is Seattle minus 2.5. Like I was saying, I just think that this team is better than the Rams, and we just gotta hope Sam Darnold doesn't turn into a pumpkin. And then for my parlay of the week is a Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. He's been out of the end zone the last couple weeks, and I think the Rams are going to be playing from behind, so they're going to be needing to chuck it up. I could see it being a 10, 14-point game. They throw it to Tay, and he gets one in. He was starting to come alive a little bit in the second half, and I think that oddly enough, Seattle isn't going to have necessarily the DBs that the Bears did or were playing on Sunday, just kind of locking them down. So I think he gets home.
Alrighty, well, I am also going to have a couple UFC bets here. My first one is Justin Gaethje, Patty the Batty Pimblett, over 2.5 rounds. This could be a fight that obviously ends very quickly with both of these guys being pretty good strikers. But Gaethje, I believe, had a quote that came out that he wants to take Patty to the championship rounds and make Patty feel like the pain in those rounds. So I think this goes over 2.5. I don't think it goes the distance, but I think it does get into the championship rounds. Next one, I'm also going to take Natalia Silva or Sylvia or whatever her name is, and Sean
I think
O'Malley.
it's Silva.
Money line. Both of those money line. It comes out to minus 118. I am a Sugar Sean O'Malley fanboy, so I just needed something to sweeten the pot here with O'Malley's money line, and Natalia Silva seemed like the one to combine with that. So those two together are minus 118. I'm also going to take Seattle minus 2.5, just like Sean. I like Seattle in this game. However, I'm also going to go Puka 5+ rushing yards. Now, this might be a square pick. He's hit this so far in both of the postseason games. Obviously, there is a chance that Puka does not get any rushing attempts. But these type of games seem like the games where you have to just get your offensive weapons the ball by any means necessary. So one end around, one whatever. It seems like Puka could as well hit this again, and I just think for 5 yards, that's one rush. So it's going to be a hero or a zero. I feel like it's like if he gets a rushing attempt, it's a lock. If he doesn't, well, obviously he can't have any rushing yards. My final lock of the week is going to go to the NBA. This game is going to be played on Wednesday, January 21st. So if you're an early listener to this pod, you'll get this one. If you listen to us late, sorry, this one's already cashed. And that's the Thunder minus 9.5 against the Bucks. Bucks suck this year. OKC is good. Really my only reasoning. And OKC seems to kind of blow teams out. The Bucks seem to get blown out. So OKC to win by 10 points or more. I love that. And then finally for the parlay of the week, it's kind of funny that Sean and I both have Seattle minus 2.5, and then we have separate touchdown scores for the Rams. But I'm going to take Puka anytime Tud plus 125. So we're counting on this to be kind of a higher scored game for the parlay of the week between the Rams and the Seahawks, but the Seahawks still ultimately pull it out. So the parlay of the week is Devontae Adams anytime touchdown, the Broncos-Patriots game under 42.5, and then Puka Nacua anytime touchdown plus 125. You throw those all together, and currently on the green book it's plus 941. Yeah, we need a different week than parlay of the week or house ride of the week,
name.
Right? Because
we gotta come back at some point with that one.
Right, we gotta get this thing hot because it has been ice cold lately. But
oh boy,
I have full faith that this one's gonna hit.
Oh, now that Nick, I don't think would have had too much input on this, but did you? I was watching this from the hospital bed last night. Did you watch the college football championship?
I did.
Oh boy, was that a fucking game!
Yeah, I mean, it was almost all you could ask for a national championship. Um, like Indiana was trying to pull away, but Miami was always right there. And
Yeah, Kadarius Tony's little brother. I was unaware that he is a true freshman, should be a senior
yep,
right now in high school.
yep,
So he's going to be talented as long as he stays there.
yep, yeah. Dude should be going to prom, and he's just outrunning everybody in college football. He's
Yeah,
electric already as a true freshman.
it's incredible. So
Yep, he's
I
one of
guess
those
he's the
players.
more talented Tony brother.
Yeah, he's one of those players that you wish there wasn't like the 3 year rule to get to the NFL. Like, just get him
Yeah.
on an NFL roster now because he is electric.
Holy cow.
I was a little disappointed in Mendoza. I mean, I know he still had that QB draw that was an insane, bouncing off defenders and diving in. Like, that's going to be
Oh
a,
yeah.
a national championship moment that's replayed multiple times. But, like, he just, for a Heisman winner in the national championship, it just didn't feel like it. And obviously, they got the win, mission accomplished. Like, he doesn't have to have a crazy good game. But, like, besides one or two throws, they didn't really. Indiana wasn't pushing the ball downfield at all. Like, it was pretty much just hand the ball off, short passes. Like, it got it done, so I'm not hating on it. But, like, for a Heisman winner in his final college game, national championship, like, I just want to see them ball out, and I feel like
Yeah.
Mendoza kind of didn't.
I thought we were going to get kind of like a Joe Burrow-esque moment of when he was with LSU going against like that great Clemson line with like
Hmm.
Dexter Lawrence and I forget who it was, but I think it was like the former Raiders defensive tackle that was pretty prominent and then he was let go or he
Christian
quit or
Wilkins.
whatever. Christian Wilkins, I believe he was on that team. Yes.
Yeah.
So like, and Burrow balled out, but it seemed like yeah, Mendoza was letting that pressure get to him, and I'm not saying that they were bailed out by the refs, but anytime that it seemed like it was going to be either a three and out or the drive kind of stalled out, you get some kind of laundry on the field. And they showed the replays, and they undoubtedly did that to themselves,
Hmm.
whether it was like a face mask or a defensive hold-in or
Oh yeah.
something like that. So you just got to, I don't know how you can let that stuff happen in a national championship game if you're a coach, but apparently it sounds like that's been
Hey,
kind of a point of emphasis for him all year.
that's the U baby. I mean, that's how they play
Yeah,
ball down there.
yeah. I mean, fast, physical. I get it. I respect it, but it cost him.
Did you see Ed Reed at all during any of the broadcasts?
Oh, and his oversized hat. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
incredible.
that's just swagged
Yep.
out with the oversized
Did you
hat.
see Ray Lewis looking like
Yeah,
like he was going to watch ball in like the 1960s?
yeah,
Like in a full like suit, top hat, everything,
Mhm.
fedora thing. It was wild.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, very very entertaining end to the national championship. I was a little nervous that Indiana. I mean, a lot of people maybe thought Indiana was just going to kind of roll through Miami since they've been rolling through everybody. But the
Yeah.
U definitely put up a good fight, and yeah, it was an entertaining game. Um, Man, like college kickers, they're just bad. It's kind of funny.
Oh
Like
my God.
Miami's kicker missed a field goal early on in the game, and then it
Jointed.
ends up costing them in the end because they would have only needed a field goal instead of a touchdown at the end to force overtime. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I kind of wish there would be some change to the NFL. I don't know how you do it, but like field goal kicking at the NFL level has just become too automatic from like 50 and in. So I don't have any good
Speak for,
solutions, but
speak
like,
for a different team besides the Packers there, Buster.
well, that's true. But like, I don't know. I like not knowing if a field goal is going to be made, and it just seems like in the NFL, if it's like under 50, it's pretty much guaranteed to go in these days.
Yeah,
But
I would agree on that.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
was,
start moving the goalposts a little bit, like side to side, like a
yeah.
carnival game.
Well, it's already narrowed a significant amount
Yeah.
compared to like college or even high school level. So you can't really do much more there. And we do see some of them go off the crossbars and everything. So I don't know. I don't know what more there is to it besides like eventually analytics just saying, yeah, kick the field goal, make it like a 60 some yard field goal. I don't know. But yeah, so that's interesting. But the impressive turnaround that Kurt Signetti has brought to the spectrum of college sports is incredible.
Yeah,
But
almost
damn near
unbelievable.
30 wins in first 2 seasons. Like,
Hmm.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
And they're
especially
primarily JMU players from the portal.
right
Like,
in the time of the portal. Signetti has used the portal, but a majority of his players, like you said, Sean, are from the JMU team that he had. Um, Dude just knows how to develop guys at the college level and just get the best out of them. I mean, they looked and have looked in the college football playoffs like an NFL team. Like normally in college,
yeah.
you got players doing stupid stuff because they're college players, yada yada yada. But like Indiana just looks, they look like the old Nick Saban teams, honestly. Like
Yeah.
they just don't make mistakes, they don't hurt themselves, and they just are flying to the ball, making plays. Like they just don't seem to have like any weakness. Is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, Indiana's putting some money behind them now with NIL and everybody seemingly putting millions of dollars behind their teams, unless you're the Badgers who say they're going to be committed. But until we see that, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's great for recruiting to come on down for a national championship winning head coach. And yeah, I mean, if I had an 17, 18-year-old kid, I'd be telling him go to Indiana.
Yeah. Do you think friend of the pod, Blake Thierry, gets a ring? He's got it, right?
I love that. I hope so. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know necessarily if he had any snaps this year. I wasn't looking necessarily at the game logs, but hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, probably best athlete in the state of Wisconsin last year, going
Hmm.
to Indiana. So makes sense.
Right. All right. Well, anything else you got for the championship week, Sean?
No, just now we're down to 3 different games. That was a little tender movement for me.
Oh, easy,
Still
easy.
oh yeah, still got this glue holding my innards in, so we're fine. But yeah, no, 3 games left in the NFL season, so unfortunate, but everybody that I've talked to says that it's about damn time. I don't know.
Hmm.
I wish this thing could go all year,
Right.
but all good things got to come to an end.
They do. They do. Just like your time with your appendix.
Mm-hmm. Rip.
All right. Well, yeah. Be on the lookout. We will have a pod next week, potentially over Super Bowl props or something fun like that. So probably will be a shorter one next week, but we will be finding something to chat about for a little bit. All right. Well, that's the card. If you're riding with any of these picks, hit the follow on Spotify and save this episode so you've got it when kickoff hits. And if one of these hits, send this episode to a friend who said it won it. We'll be back next week. Bets now, regrets later. Goodbye.
See ya.